All right, welcome back in, hockey fans. Another What Drives You, another season here in Las Vegas with a Columbus Blue Jacket assistant coach Kenny McCudden. Kenny,
good to see you, Scott.
You know, I look forward to this every single year. Last year I missed it. COVID got to us. Life is back. Hockey's back.
I missed it also. We all missed it, right? We didn't have the most normal year. We haven't since March of 2020. But nice to be here in Vegas. Nice to be with the Rebels here, with Rebel Hockey, and helping out this program in every way. And it was nice just to see guys wanting to be on the ice. Some normalcy when it came to the game.
Okay, so I was here 2 weeks ago for a fundraiser. This place was packed, and I looked around and I said to myself, you know what? People are just happy to be back at the ice rink.
Well, look at the way our world has been disrupted, in every way. But I think if we're all responsible with this in every single way, we'll see our life come back a little bit better, and we'll see sport come back better, and everything else from the theater to whatever it might be, school. But let's hope this is a start. But I've wiped out at least 5 or 6 trips this year throughout North America, but I kept this one with UNLV because it means so much to me.
And I know it means a lot to the guys because they all look forward to it. The coaches look forward to it. Everybody in here, Vegas, likes to have you come to town. We love to see you walk through this building wearing that logo. You and I talked about this a couple of years ago about how it's one big family in hockey, isn't it?
It sure is. I walked in today with my gear and my sticks, and the assistant coaches from Vegas welcomed me in every way, and they allowed me to use this room. This room is being used for extra players right now from Vegas. But we're all in this together, and they want to make me feel at home and feel at home in their building. And we would do the exact same for them if somebody was trudging through our building wearing something from Vegas.
Let's quickly talk, if we can, a little bit about what it's been like for you personally through the last year and a half or so. The pandemic, a lot of players about what it was like for them, but what does a coach do? How does a coach adjust to this kind of lifestyle? Well,
I enjoyed doing that podcast with you right after the bubble in Toronto. We've had 2 bubble seasons. One, we were 5 weeks in Toronto, and the other group of players were in Edmonton at that time. And then that led us to a fixed 56-game schedule this year, which was a bubble year too. Right. But the National Hockey League did it so well. We got 2 seasons in the books, as they would say. And it's very, very different. I think what made last year different was we were carrying a taxi squad. Every team was carrying anywhere between 6 to 10 players, 2 goalies usually involved in that. And it was a nonstop, mini training camp, not only for the coaching staffs of the National Hockey League, but for the trainers, for the medical staff and the equipment managers and their assistants. The washing machines were going continuous because of the amount of players that we were putting through. And then it was even tenfold when you had an opposing team in your building, or you were in an opposing building, because now the trainers are taking care of not only their own team, but they're taking care of the opposing team.
Okay, so from a player's end of that, being on that taxi squad, that's got to be a difficult position for them because they're doing a lot of practicing. They never know if they're going to see game time or not. And if they do see game time, in some cases, it's almost an immediate notice, right?
It is, and it's a great question. And some guys didn't even see the light at the end of the tunnel. Some guys even knew they may not get that chance. Right. But they were still pros about it. They still had to come prepared. And that was the whole key. We try, these guys are skating every day, and you're segregating them from your regular team because you just can't have that many players on the ice, especially with how we wanted to conduct practice and the way John Tortorella wanted to conduct practice. So it made it very tough on those 6 to 10 players all the time. And what we did between the Columbus Blue Jackets and the Cleveland Monsters, they're 2 hours down the road in Cleveland, we switched out an awful lot. So we made it fresh for the players. We made it fresh for the coaching staff. And we didn't have guys sitting around for 4 months on that taxi squad. I don't know what other teams were doing. I hope that they did the same thing for the players' sake, because it could be a long, long haul if you didn't do it that way.
Okay, so you only played 56 games, but yet the Stanley Cup playoffs went into July. Quick turnaround. You still did a few of these types of things like you're doing now, but
I don't stop.
you're almost back, though, aren't you? You're almost back to an NHL season here in less than a month.
Oh, yes, that's right around the corner. I think medicals are on the 21st. We as far as reporting on the 20th, medicals on the 21st. First day on the ice with Columbus on the 22nd. But, yeah, it's here. I prepare myself, Scott, all summer long. We were done, our season ended very early. We were done May the 8th. It wasn't like the 4 previous years before that where we were a playoff team and a strong team to play against. We just had a tough time getting traction this year throughout our 56-game schedule. But at the same point, I don't stop. I took a couple of weeks off, and then I'm doing all this Chicago hockey from the USHL players to college to minor pro and the NHL. And one that I really enjoyed this year was Kendall Coyne, who plays in the women's Olympic team. She put together a couple of other women, so I had as many as 4 or 5 Olympic women working with them privately to prepare them for the World Championship, which just was finished last night.
Yeah, an exciting game as well.
Yes.
Okay, so let's dig into what we have right here at UNLV. You've been here before.
4 years.
4 years running.
4 years running. Would have been 5 last year if we would have been running.
Well, let me tell you what I did. I don't know if you heard, but April 5th to May 5th, I went on the road for 30 straight days. I covered USHL All-Star Game. Yep. I covered NCAA Championship. Wow. I covered ACHA Championship. I covered the World Juniors under 18s in Texas. So I saw every level, yep. Right? And what I was doing that for, Kenny, was to see how close things were getting from ages, say, 16 to 22, 23. Mm-hmm. Saw some ECHL games, saw some AHL games during that span.
You were after it.
I was all after it,
yeah,
okay?
Yeah.
And I'll tell you what I came away with. I came away with the idea that the gap is closing quickly. And there's not enough lockers in NCAA hockey or even ACHA hockey, I don't feel, for the talented players that are coming up. Your thoughts?
Well, I agree with you. I mean, it all goes back, I think, the last 20 to 25 years with the resources that these kids have today. When you see a kid at 12 years old today and the talent that they have, girl or boy, a 12-year-old is like the old 16-year-olds in the old days, but now they're 12. Yep. The 16-year-old can almost handle a 20-year-old or a 19-year-old with how good and strong they are. With their skill set. And I believe that's through and through with sport because of the resources that parents are sending their kids to and what's out there for these kids today. And yeah, you're right. I mean, we're producing athletes at every level, at every sport. And you're right. I mean, it's going to make it more and more difficult for recruitment when it comes to Division I recruiting these players.
Okay, so tell us basically what this camp is. This is a main camp for UNLV, but what's your goal? What do you want to bring out of this in the 2-3 days that you're here?
The 3 days that I'm here, it's not for me to push them to a point where they're just zonked. I'm not their coach. I am here to push them mind-wise, to have them believe that they are better than they are, and build that confidence. I'm here to get their hands ready, get their feet ready, and obviously their lungs ready for both their coaches, for Nick Rabone and Anthony Greener. And that is my preparation here. The times that I've been here before, I just want to be introducing them to getting ready for camp. So if I'm that resource being brought in to get preparation ready for Anthony and Nick, that's what I'm here for in every way, just to prepare these players. The main thing I want to get through to them, Scott, is to have pro habits. Their habits to be pro habits and understand what our players do throughout the National Hockey League and what the players do right here in their own building with Vegas at the highest level. And that is constantly pushing themselves to an area where they haven't been pushed before. So if there's one thing where I want to push them, that's the area I want to push them, to believe in themselves.
Okay, so this segment's called M Drive. I always ask my guests, what drives you? It's a very simple statement.
Yeah.
I think I know what drives you, but you tell the audience, what drives Kenny McCudden?
Well, I love waking up in the morning. I love starting my day, whether it's working on my 6 acres at my house, or being on the ice, or working at my game of golf, or whatever it is. But I love listening to what you said, what you did for a month around the game of hockey, being at every level. To me, that type of thing drove you to do something you've never done before around the game, and you will probably even do it again someday, because the amazing things you can get out of that segment-wise for your show. But what drives me is I know this game's not going to last forever, Scott, with me. I'm 60 years old. I'd love it to last another 7, 8 years, 9 years, maybe 10, if I can get to 70 with it. But I think if I'm ready and prepared every single day at my age, somebody will have a tough time taking my job away.
I hear you. Kenny McCudden, thank you so much for sitting in with us. We're going to do a quick podcast segment, so if you don't want to listen to this one all the time, jump on the podcast, because he's going to be on with us as well.
Really, JR? You think you can still do this?
I'm focused.
You're way too old to hit that target from there.
I've been listening to everything you said. It's been running through my head, locked and loaded.
All right, still got it. Still got it.
Who's old now?